A lot of modern games, especially those from indie developers, tend to fit into a limited number of game genres. For those that don't, they often draw upon a number of tried and tested formula to make their games as appealing as possible to the masses. While not overly original, Riddled Corpses EX does the latter in droves, taking elements from a number of established game tropes. But when all of them have proven to be popular and successful over the years, that's not necessarily a bad thing. Zombies, check. Twin-stick shooters, check. Retro 8-bit visuals and sounds, check. Any one or two of them would get the attention of most, but combine all three, and on paper at least, Riddled Corpses EX has the potential to be a surefire hit. Originally released for the PC and developed by Diabolical Minds, Cowcat expanded the indie game for consoles, namely the PS4, PS Vita, and the recently released Nintendo Switch version, adding new content, features, a secondary soundtrack, and new game modes, effectively creating a brand new game altogether. Initially released as a digital-only title, the PS4 and Vita version received a physical release through Red Arc Games at the end of 2018, with the Switch version following in 2019. As a fan of twin-stick shooters and arcade games in general, I was already eager to try out this retro-inspired shooter. Red Arc Games kindly sent me a copy of their PS Vita limited edition physical release to put through its paces, so that's the version I'm taking a look at for this review, but the game is essentially the same across all formats. The plot is your typical zombie apocalypse affair. An experiment has gone wrong. A plan to rid the world of all evil has failed, and instead has caused all of the dead to rise, overrunning the earth. But something more sinister has risen, a great evil that has been reborn from hell, that is set on destroying humanity, and yes, it's your job to stop it. From the outset, Riddled Corpses EX seems like any other zombie-infested twin-stick shooter. Spread over a series of themed stages, you have to progress through different areas in the city overrun with different types of zombies. Clear different waves using the weapons at your disposal to keep moving forward until you reach the huge boss at the end of each stage. There are three main modes to the game: Arcade, Story Mode and Survival. For most, Story Mode will be the driving force of the game initially. You take control of one of 6 characters with the story unfolding through cutscenes during play. Only one character is available to you at the start, but you can unlock others as you play. The game takes an arena-based approach to the zombie slaying action, with the screen automatically scrolling once you've eradicated most of the zombies in each wave. As each zombie is killed, or destructible objects in each area are blown up, coins are left behind. These can be used to upgrade your character in the shop screen you can access between levels or between games, allowing you to continually progress or to unlock extra characters. This is going to be essential to get through the later stages, as you'll quickly find out. Your starter weapon is relatively limited, so you'll soon find that you won't get too far in your first few attempts. But as you build up your stats and get further into the game, you'll be drawn into the addictive gameplay. Despite the slow grinding nature of the game, it's never a chore, and pair-ups that can be picked up at random help alleviate any initial frustration you might feel when you're overwhelmed by the undead hordes. Unlike traditional power-ups that give you main weapon boosts, these are single-use items that can give you a short-term in-game boost, but can prove to be a real lifesaver. From high-end explosives to a clock that freezes everything around you, temporarily helping you make the light work of the bosses and sub-bosses you encounter. Arcade mode, in contrast, dumps you right in at the deep end. You start each game completely fresh with no upgrades, and have to complete the game in a single session. With your chosen character, you start at the first level and have to work your way through with all your character's abilities and weapons upgrading as you play. It's a much tougher game mode, and one for purists, and one for those of you after more of a challenge once you've completed the story mode. Survival mode strips the game back to basics. You're able to use your chosen character at whatever level you've upgraded them to, and you'll drop straight into an endless arena filled with zombies, mini-bosses, bosses, power-ups and coins to collect, and wave after wave of undeads to slay. All you can do is survive as long as possible, rack up as many points as you can, and grab all the coins you can carry to use in the shop afterwards. In all 3 modes, you have 3 lives at your disposal, and collision with any of the undead will cost you one of these lives. Gameplay doesn't stop when this happens, so you have to pay close attention to what's going on at all times. Extra lives can be picked up during play, or more can be bought from the shop to give you a head start at the beginning of each game. Graphics seem to be a hybrid between 8-bit and 16-bit styling, but despite the old school appearance, everything moves quickly on screen with no slowdown, regardless of how much is on screen at once. Everything is clearly defined, with each type of zombie being easily identifiable from the other, and, more importantly, from the background objects. Everything is well animated and scrolls smoothly. On the sound front, the game is filled with plenty of suitable retro sound effects and a great chip soundtrack. As the title implies, with this being the enhanced version of the game, there is an alternate synth music track that can be selected to listen to during play, giving you a choice if you're not a fan of chip music. Onto the game itself, and it's an absolute joy to play. The controls are simple, using the left analog stick to move, the right stick to fire, and the action buttons to activate any bonus items that you've collected. From the Vita's point of view, if you've played any other twin-stick shooter, you'll feel right at home here, and whether you're playing it on a Vita or using a DualShock 4 on the PlayStation TV, it feels just as responsive, so I'd say that playing on the PS4 would feel just as responsive and fun to play. Every member of the undead realm that you encounter and objects that you can destroy have their own health bar, so you know that at a glance how close you are to destroying them. This is a new feature that's been added to the EX version of the game, and it's a great touch. In other games where adversaries need multiple shots to take them out, you're often left wondering just how effective your weapons are, but this gives you a clear idea and helps you build better strategies to progress through the game as well, making it all the more enjoyable to play. Even when you're just starting out and in all likelihood won't last that long, Riddled Corpses EX has that one more go factor that keeps pulling you back. And as you gain experience and see your characters grow, despite the need for grinding, it's still a fun, engaging and addictive arcade shooter. The only criticism I would say, if I had to have any, is that the multiplayer mode from the console versions has been left out from the PS Vita version. While obviously this couldn't have been included for the PS Vita, it could have made its way over to the PlayStation TV, as many other developers have done so in recent years. Other than that, I can't really fault it, and it's a must-have game for any shoot-'em-up fan looking for another game to add to their collection, or for those who love retro-style games. Riddled Corpses EX is available both digitally from the PlayStation Store as a cross-buy title for the PS Vita and PlayStation 4, the Nintendo eShop, or as a limited edition cartridge from Red Art Games. Whichever version you choose, it's fantastic value and will give you plenty of entertainment for your money. Our score for Riddled Corpses EX is coming right up.
Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to click on the like button and leave us a comment below. Also, spare a moment to share this video on Twitter, Facebook and all your social media pages. To get updates on all of our latest videos delivered straight to your inbox, subscribe now using the link on the screen.